So to me, that was even a cop out. Oh, I just, I can't 100% connect to the artistry. But you could when you made 3 to 4 songs going at bro. And then you have to think of the way he did it. He waited for Family Matters to drop. 15 minutes later, dropped Meet the Grams. And then said bro had a missing kid. Then told his son that he wished his father would have wore a condom. We talked about Drake's hits and how Drake was lethal and shouldn't have brought up Whitney and all this stuff. But he dug deep. That boy Kendrick Lamar dug deep. And while it's rap and while it's competitive, I don't think you can come on an interview after something like that and then say, hey, I just assumed that, or I can't 100% connect myself with the art. So, yeah, I disconnect from it once I do it. And that's that. Doesn't work like that, bro. It does not work like that. Especially after the trail of shit you left and then bounced out. And I think that people in the hip hop media community would have held him a little bit more accountable than SZA and Harpers Bazaar. They was talking about God and space and whatever the fuck. We don't want to hear about that shit right now. We want to hear about the beef. And yeah, you may be the very mysterious artist who chooses his words wise and all this stuff, and I respect that. But you put yourself in the public eye by going at the biggest public giant we had in the rap game at the time. So at this point, that's what people want to hear and they want to talk about. I rock with Kendrick Lamar. I had him winning the beef. But this type of shit is where it looks ugly to me. I don't like this. You had every chance to big up the niggas who bigged you up in the hip-hop community, and you didn't do that, and you avoided questions that you know we wanted to know. All to do that just to turn around and more than likely go to the Super Bowl, sing the song or not, I don't know, but it just feels hypocritical to me, if that's even a word. There would have been a lot of questions that could have been asked to him. Was that true? Does he really have a daughter? I didn't even think of that. Are you really giving this information as truthful, or is this just something you're doing to dig at, bro? And I think the reason for the avoidance of these interviews is because, let's keep it 100. If we stack up their accusations against each other, because they're both liars, to a certain degree. But if we stack up the allegations against each other, Kendrick Lamar's allegations, if not true, those are horrendous, bro. You put the P word on a bro's jacket. You know what I mean? That is, if you're not a pedo, that's a fade, in my opinion. That's a big deal. He put the woman beater jacket on him. That's a big deal if you didn't either. Those two things right there, y'all was playing with some serious fire. That's not cool. But who went further? And I think that in these hip hop media platforms, we would have been able to stack some of these things up next to each other and say, damn, okay, Kendrick is not necessarily the godlike figure that we thought. He wanted blood. He wanted blood. And I don't like this shit. This is like this J. Cole shit as well to me, where it's like you went and you said all that, and now you're saying you could just detach from it and it's just cool. It don't work like that. So I'm curious to see what's going to happen. Not to mention, Thug just said, I want y'all to be friends again, or whatever he said to Drake and Future retweeted it. So it's like a lot of things that Drake or Kendrick got on Drake about and not like us are low-key coming back to, I'm not going to say bite Kendrick in the ass, but it's just showing that like these were shots in the dark. And I'm calling spades a spades. Still a great song. It's still the song of the summer. It's still killed off. He's still going to win everything. But it doesn't mean that he didn't shoot some shots in the dark. And you're starting to see that now when niggas from Atlanta are literally trying to get back together to link up with Drake again. So it's like, okay, you said he run to Atlanta when he need to check balance. That might be true, but they might need him to balance their checks too. So it's a mutual agreement. You making it seem like he just goes to Atlanta and just juices them. This is still Aubrey Graham, bro. This is still Drake. This nigga still can turn anything into gold at that point. Any artist into gold at that point. We've seen him do it multiple times. So let's not sit up here and act like he hasn't. So even in that part, that as more time passes, you start to see like, now that tweet came out and Future retweeted it, it's like they obviously need Drake too. So it was mutual. But that's in the midst of the beef, we don't see that. We don't. I feel like we didn't notice it. It was just so much of like us being enamored and like really shocked at the performance Kendrick Lamar was giving, because even though we knew he was a top lyricist and a better lyricist than Drake, and in my opinion more creative, I didn't know he was gonna come like that. I don't think we could have expected what that. Nobody was ready for what that was and what was coming. So, it was, we were focused on that. We weren't focused on nitpicking the little things. And then the things that he said were just more powerful and profound to where it made us focus on Drake more. So I feel like Kendrick had time to get away from all of the shit that now, by the time, if you're still really paying attention to it, like us podcasters and content creators are, you're starting to see that there were some holes in the story. And it is what it is. It's okay. It's not like, the end of the world, but there were some holes in bro's story. The Atlanta thing, that's at this point, that's over with. The tweet come, the daughter, we never found her. That's a lie. Even him being a culture vulture, and while to a certain degree I believe it, I seen a video about Drake finding dudes from London, and the way he was talking about them was like, you could tell he did his homework. It wasn't like he just seen one video and was like, hey, called up his manager and was like, hey, get these guys in the booth, get him in the booth, and then he never sees them again. Nah, like you could tell he did his homework, because he found people that were kind of unknown, and he started to listen to their sounds, listen to the pockets they was getting in, and get inspired, and I think take some of that music and make it his own, and then put those people on by doing songs with them and collaborating with them. You know what I mean? You can't make everybody a star and put them on a record deal and get them paid. So I think people are too hard on Drake when it comes to, his collaborations and how he gets his creative juices flowing. I think he's genuinely a fan, and you can go back in some of these videos and see that bro was genuinely a fan of the music that he was collabing with and would ultimately mix with his and make. It's just what it is. So I think as the beef, more time passes, I'm starting to see that, it was just a beef. Like, it wasn't as much as Kendrick shot at him for being this person who's sucking the culture dry. The further we get away from the beef, I don't feel that way about Drake. I don't. And honestly, I think that, we needed Drake to be more active for hip hop, because Kendrick Lamar is not going to do it. As much as we love him, sometimes you got to pop out and show niggas. So he's not going to be 100% active all the time the way Drake is. It's just what it is. And yeah, quality doesn't beat quantity, but Drake was a good stand-in for somebody who can do both. So I had to call Cap on Kendrick Lamar for this interview. It was 2PC. He had his homegirl asking him the questions. They was already written down. When he talked about Not Like Us, he gave us the bullshit response of, it represents me and who I am, and morals and and respect, which to a degree there's some of that in there, but he didn't stand on the 10 of, this is a diss, I made it, and that's what it is. Like, it's over with. If that's what you want it to be and it's over with, cool. But you never even mentioned that it was made with Drake in mind at all. And I feel like that is 100% cap, because it definitely was made with Drake in mind. The last 4 to 5 songs you made have been with Drake in mind. Let's keep it 100. That's just what it is. And so, people can get mad. People can say whatever they want. But I'll be the first to tell you that that's ugly behavior from Kendrick Lamar. It is. It is. You should have gave hip-hop platforms some looks. You should have, answered some more questions or gave us some more insight on the beef. And you should have done it, just a little bit differently, in my opinion, I feel like. And I see the flack that he's getting online. Like, it's very, it's very like, I don't know, just what made him go there. They had to have been dropping a bag on him or something like that for him to say, okay, I'm gonna go over to Harpers Bazaar. I'm not gonna go to Ebro over this or that. I have no idea, but I wish, now what's done is done. We'll see if he's to do anything soon. Who knows? But if we know Kendrick Lamar, he's not popping out until the Super Bowl again, and then maybe something after that if there's an album. But yeah, K-Dot's capping with this interview. He's capping on the full meaning of Not Like Us, because we know the full meaning is a shot at Drake as well. And that's just what it is. So if you're watching this, man, please like, subscribe, share, run me up, get me in the algorithm, keep me in the algorithm, man. Thank you for the love, for the hate. It's all support. This is Kali the One. I don't know where you're going, but you got to get the hell up out of here.